Good morning. This is Cecil and Blues. Welcome to the Wildstar Weigh-In. Today we're looking at PvP. Please meet Blues, my medic. He will be playing a game on the Walatiki Temple map while we discuss the news that has happened in the last couple of weeks since my last post. I didn't get any footage recorded during the last couple beta weekends, and so I decided not to record anything of interest. So, I've got a bit to cover. First, the first beta weekend had some server issues. Those, to the best of my knowledge, have been fixed, and a bonus weekend was given on March 28th through March 31st. And in addition to that, they raised the level cap from 17 to 20, which made it so that pre-order beta participants can queue up for the first dungeons. They were always able to run them because you can get into them at level 17, but since it's not as easy, you have to actually form a group and walk through the door. So that has been corrected. Next, if you log in to the beta every single day, each day you log in, you will earn 3 boom boxes. Actually, I think I need to add a little bit more drama to that. I said boom boxes. That sounds better. These boxes can contain things like mount variants, mount customization parts, costume pieces, that sort of cosmetic fun stuff. But they aren't only available through this method. They're currently only available through this method, but they will be something that is available in the game, available for players at whatever method. They haven't actually discussed it, but it's not something they're going to sell on a store or anything like that. It's going to be something you earn through standard gameplay. That is according to Jeremy Gaffney. Since I am playing in the Walatiki Temple, I think we should probably talk about it. What is Walatiki Temple? It is a capture the flag variant. The goal is to capture 5 tiki masks. You can see one golden tiki mask over there that we are currently fighting over. When the game starts, there are 3 golden tiki masks on the field. There is 1 in each team's base, and 1 spawns randomly out on the field in, I think, 5 different spawn locations, either in the corner of this lower area or on top of a bridge. Then, you need to collect the mask and take it back to your base. Once it is on your base, it is still, you still need to protect it, because the enemy team can come in and take it. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. That's why we had the kind of fight we did down in the center area. I believe a good portion of the enemy team went to our base and stole our spawn mask. I'll know for sure once I see the footage here when we get back escorting. As you can see, I'm playing a healer, and I am keeping people alive to the best of my ability. And you add-on error. So add-ons still in process, but mostly functional. I haven't had too much trouble this. I didn't run into any problems recording this footage. I didn't get disconnected once. Game ran pretty smoothly. So I think they've addressed quite a few of the problems they were having in previous weekends. Now, it's important to note that they recently redesigned this map. It used to have a couple tiers. It was like kind of an upside down wedding cake with 3 tiers, where there was this top layer, and then there was a ring below it, and then the arena was at the bottom. And they removed the middle tiers so that the ring is much larger at the base, or at the bottom, and then they widened the bridges so that they're easier to fight on. And they added these caves, the cave that you can see me kind of getting murdered as I try to go through, where you can kind of come in the backside of the temple of your opponent's base room, maybe catch them off guard, maybe attack them from two different directions, confuse them, and when I respawn, you will also notice that there are two different spawn locations. When you spawn, you can go out two different directions from your base, which the hope is that it limits a little bit of camping, so that if everybody's over on one side, you can jump out the other side and make a break for it. And that's a Walatiki. You could kind of see the other exit over to the right, but I didn't see any need to use it. I wanted to get into our base room and protect things. But as you can see, it's a little bit of a furball in here, and I am not going to survive the process. They have completely cleaned us out. We have 0 masks, and this game was looking pretty dire at this point. What could happen next, though? You will get to watch that while I talk about other features. They did an AMA. You know what I'm going to talk about? Halls of the Bloodsworn is the second PvP map. They posted this up on their website, discussion on it. I have never personally been inside the Halls of the Bloodsworn. It's not as common in beta as the Walatiki Temple. In fact, if you're a pre-order beta participant, you can't access Halls of the Bloodsworn because I believe you need to be level 30 or above. Might be 25 and above. Either way, Walatiki Temple spawns far more frequently. I just never managed to get into a Halls of the Bloodsworn match, so my information I can provide about it is very second-hand. This is a base rush gameplay. There's a very similar game in SWTOR. It's a derelict ship of some sort. I actually forget what the thing is called, but there are 3 rooms, and the attacking team tries to progress through all 3 rooms, and then once the timer has run out or they complete the mission, then you switch sides and the defending team gets a chance to attack, and the goal is to either be the fastest to complete all 3 rooms or get the furthest. If there's a tie, it comes down to absolute time. In the write-up on their webpage, they say if it is a complete tie, down to the second, then the universe will end. So, let's hope that doesn't happen, because I liked the universe. The Unique Quirk. Like in Walatiki Temple, the Unique Quirk, I feel about the twist on a Capture the Flag game is that you could pick up the enemy flags. Like in most Capture the Flag games, there's one flag, you pick it up, you run it back to your base, you slam it down, you get a point, and then the flag respawns in the center and you repeat. In Walatiki Temple, the flags remain in play, and so they are always something that you have to be worried about. Right here, you can see that we just lost one because we weren't staying close enough to the piece. So if we don't stop this guy from getting away from us, we are going to lose this mask. In Halls of the Bloodsworn, the unique quirk is that the attacking team has a definitive advantage over the defending team. The attacking team has a gradually increasing buff that increases both their attack and their support power. So over the course of the game, as the timer ticks down, they will become stronger and stronger. And that will allow them to hopefully complete their mission eventually, even against a team that outgears them, which is neat. I think that's really cool. That I think it'll be a good ego boost, kind of. You know, it's just something that makes you feel good when you've completed it. Then sorry, I paused. I was actually just contemplating my own actions there, like I was guarding that mask, but I feel like I should have been able to click on it, maybe? I'm not sure. I can't remember if I had to guard it until that timer ticked down, or if I could have looted it to make it automatically respawn. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I did what I had to there. There is also, in Halls of the Bloodsworn, each time you collect a control point, you start collecting buffs, and as you progress through the zone, you will become even stronger and stronger. So it's kind of like this snowball, steamroll sort of effect. So if you get going early, you are operating off of the buffs you were getting from the previous room. If you get going late, you are operating off of the buffs that you received by being a by just nature of time passing. That's pretty cool. AMA. They did a Ask Me Anything on Reddit. I felt like this was a pretty limited scope AMA. Most of the questions that got answered had to do with possibilities of additional maps coming in the future, how many maps they had designed, and that sort of thing. And then finally, a lot of questions about gear. So I can talk about what they answered. They explained that 50% of PvP gear's stat budget comes from the PvP stats. So if you're wearing a piece of PvP gear that is of a particular item level and a piece of PvE gear that is of that same level, there is a huge disparity. The players who have the PvP gear are going to win the fight, all things otherwise being equal, right? Like if you just stood there and pressed one attack at each other over and over and over again, same class, same gear levels, the PvP player is going to win. Player skill will obviously distort that significantly. They said that there is a 65% disparity at the max level. So if you're talking a PvE raider in the best gear that they can get from raiding, compared to a PvPer who is a top-ranked arena player, the damage difference between the arena player and the PvE raider will be 65% due to, you know, the bonus damage that the PvPer is going to do against the PvEer and the damage mitigation that the PvPer is going to cause on the PvEer's damage. PvPers will always be an advantage in PvP, and I guess that makes sense. My concern is how does that stack up when, they explain that there are different types of gear, and the way the current gear progression works, there's a blue set that's available for Prestige right at level 50, assuming you have the Prestige to buy it. There's no rating requirement. Then there's a purple set that requires Prestige, but also requires a certain personal rating. Then there is a super epic quality, raid quality piece that is available for very high ranking, and the ranking requirements require that you either play raided arenas or the war plots. Excuse me. Take a sip here. Talking a little bit too much. You won't be able to earn that kind of in the casual play. You will need to be playing in advanced play. My concern is how does that fare? Like, yeah, it makes sense that I shouldn't be able to, as a PvEer who's doing raiding with all my time, take that raiding gear and dive into PvP and expect to have success. I think it's good that they keep that to the realm of the PvEers. There was a big problem in original World of Warcraft that raiders just had this significant advantage in all things they did, simply by virtue of going to raids. But what if I buy that blue set of gear? What's my damage difference there? Because if it's still 65%, that's not cool. Even if it's 50%, that's not cool. That sucks. There needs to be a distinct fairness between PvPers gear-wise, and it needs to be more skill than gear. I don't want to think that if I buy a set of blue PvP gear and jump into a game and face off against someone with the highest gear ratings, that they are hitting me for double what I can hit them for. That's not fun in any way. So I hope that they have that discrepancy more along the lines of 15-20%. It leaves a lot of space for skill. but we will have to wait and see on that. They also discussed that during development they actually created 21 different battlegrounds, and it was not a lot of them were developed fully. It was just brief developments, paper designs, that sort of thing, prototyping, and a lot of them were scrapped over time, and eventually the two that are rolling into the game, Walatiki Temple and Halls of the Bloodsworn, were the chosen. There are a couple more that are currently set aside to be used in post-release content, and that's looking good. They did not give any secrets away, but they did say a third battleground is likely quickly after launch, as well as a second map for arenas. The final piece of news, PC Gamer is doing a weapon voting sweepstakes, and I will put a link to that down in the comments, as well as a link to Wildstar's news page if you wanted to read some of their highlights. This match is coming to an end, so I thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, please go ahead and subscribe. I will continue to put Wildstar content out, eventually on a weekly schedule in this format, and I will see you next time.